Welcome to the Morale Booster Network, a platform for entrepreneurs, career professionals, leaders, and the general public to give back to the society through coaching and mentoring. I remain your host, Dr. John Ugulu. I am an author, speaker, and strategist. I always say experience is the best teacher. You can stream or download this podcast from YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Player FM, and Pandora. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, family. Good evening from Atlanta, Georgia. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening or joining us from. If this is your first time, I want to say welcome to you. Welcome to the Morale Booster podcast. And we typically encourage our listeners to do us a favor of liking and sharing the broadcast. And here's the reason why I typically encourage listeners to share the broadcast. It's because you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message we will be talking about. The Morale Booster podcast is a platform where we bring in people who have experienced life from different perspectives. We have them come here to share their experiences because we know stories are powerful. Stories can impact lives. Stories can change narratives. So please like and share it. Let it be that this is your charitable work for today. It's free to share it. So God bless you and welcome to this beautiful episode. So today I have a lady who is very, she is a transformational leader. She is somebody who has been through life. And right now she's using her story to impact others. So it will be a great thing for you and everyone on your contact to join us. But before I bring in our guest for today, I have a message that I want to share. And this message is not for everybody. We already know everything in life is a cliche, but it is whenever that cliche resonates with you that matters. The message I want to share is for that one person, for you who's listening to me, for you who is struggling with shyness, for you who is thinking of becoming a public speaker, for you who's thinking that there's no way on earth you can ever achieve your dreams of becoming a public speaker. Why? Because there is one thing that is holding you back, and that is shyness. If that's you, then you are the person that the message I will be sharing right now is for. Let me start with a story about me so that you can understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going to. I used to be a very shy person. Yes, a very, very shy person. So shy that I couldn't even imagine myself speaking publicly. Extremely shy. That whenever I attend events or public gatherings or networking events, I always try to stay behind. I don't like, back then I wouldn't mix up with people because I had a limiting belief in me. But I knew that there was something great inside of me. I knew that there was a message, an assignment, a calling inside of me. And I knew that without overcoming shyness, that my message would die inside of me. I used to always have friends come to me and say, "Hey, John, you're very inspirational. The advice you give to me, I love it. I love it, But I had no way of getting the message to people who were not my friends because of shyness. Now, why am I saying this? Because you might be out there right now knowing very well that you have a vision, you have a dream for yourself, either of becoming a political leader, a religious leader, a leader in your organization. But for various reasons, especially shyness, you tend to discourage yourself. I was in that situation. If somebody had told me so many years ago that I would become a public speaker, I would not have believed it. But what did I do? At some point, I realized that leaders are speakers. And I told myself that I would do everything humanly possible to rise above shyness. Louis Pugh once said, when your mind is made up, you become unstoppable. He said, there is nothing more powerful than a made up mind. And I made up my mind. But making up my mind was not the only thing that happened. I told myself that I was going to take action in the right way to help me overcome shyness and to help me get into public speaking. But guess what? I actually did it. I took 10 steps, 10 major steps, 10 easy steps. The first one was to make up my mind that I was going to overcome shyness. The second one was for me to take action. And what action did I take? I want to assure you that all the 10 steps that I took are in this book titled From Shyness to Public Speaking. Right now, I am microphone hungry because of 10 steps that I took. I am that person who used to always want to stay at the back of the room, the hall, so that nobody would ask me a question because I was shy. I used to always be that person who never wanted to mix up with people I didn't know because I was shy. Imagine the opportunities I was losing then. But when I took 10 easy steps, I was able to transition from shyness to public speaking. Not just that, right now I am microphone hungry. Wherever I go to, my voice must be heard because I have a message to share. So if you are struggling with shyness and you're looking to transition from shyness to public speaking, I want you to go get a copy of this book titled From Shyness to Public Speaking. Like I always say, whatever you invest in buying books, you don't call it an expense. It is an investment in your personal growth and development. So this book is available on Amazon, or you can go to my website, johnugulu.com, and you would find this book and every other material that I have. So I don't know where you're listening to me from right now. I don't know why you think that you cannot overcome shyness, but I want to tell you that if I could do it, it means you too can do it. My shyness was the highest level, the highest of them all. If you were not my relative, my family member, or my friend, you would always see me as someone quiet. No, I wasn't quiet. I was just shy. I wouldn't talk to people. I was losing out on opportunities. I never wanted to be a leader, right? So if that is you, then my message for today is for you. If I could transition from shyness to public speaking, I want to say this to you not to impress you, but to press upon you that you too can transition. Just go get a copy of that book, read it, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. Send me a DM, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through the process. It is titled From Shyness to Public Speaking. From Shyness to Public Speaking. It's a great book that I put together for you. So thank you for listening. I don't know where you're listening to me from. I don't know what you know about yourself. Neither do I know what the people around you know about you. But one thing that I know for sure about you who's listening to me right now is that you are an abode of greatness. So thank you so much for listening. Remember to like and share it. Right now, I will be bringing in our guest for today. I know maybe a few of you can see her. We have more audio listeners on podcasts. This program is currently being streamed on multiple platforms, about 30 plus platforms right now. This woman I'm bringing here today, She is a woman of influence, a woman of charisma, a public speaker, a woman who is using her influence, her voice, everything that she has in her body, her blood, her soul, her sweat, her might, to help people identify their greatness, to help people discover their gifts, their potentials, and to help people understand that they can turn their pain into purpose. So before I introduce her, read her bio for you, I want you all to prepare, like and share it, because you definitely would have somebody who would benefit from this woman's life story. Now, her name is Shametria Gonzales. She is an extraordinary story of transform. Okay, she has an extraordinary story of transforming her life from being trafficked and escaping extreme poverty to being a founder, a speaker, a coach, and a real estate investor. She is the inspiration behind her bold mission to teach others that it is possible to do the same, which means it is possible for you to turn your pain into purpose just like her. Now, today, fans all over the world revere this lady for her mastery of teaching people how to accomplish unfathomable goals, major goals. She's been revered for that. This is a lady who suffered from trafficking. She escaped poverty. Now she's here to tell you that if she could overcome these challenges, you too can. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want you to join me as I welcome to the stage, to this platform, no other person but Shametria Gonzales. Shametria, thank you so much for joining me on this program. Welcome.
Me. It is an honor to be here.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
so much. Yeah, you were on mute before.
Oh, no, I just said thank you guys so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm just excited to see where this conversation goes and who we can serve.
Absolutely. Welcome, welcome. So, yes, currently, by the grace of God, this program is global. We are streaming on multiple platforms, over 30 platforms. A few people are privileged to see the audio.
Okay.
So we thank God for people like yourself, because sometimes when we tell people that miracles do happen,
Yeah.
they tend not to believe. When we tell people that it is possible to transfer, to change the narrative, to break generational curses,
Mm-hmm.
to break the jinx of poverty in their generation, sometimes they find it challenging
Yeah.
to believe. So, Shemetra, can you please share with us? Before we got on this program, some time ago, you and I talked about the harsh environment and challenges that you went through in life. Can you
Yeah.
please share with us, share your story with us, so that
Yeah.
the people out there can get to know you better?
Yeah. So I always like to start off by saying that I'm a small town country girl with a really, really big dream. And
Mm,
so from 0 to like 14, 15 years old, I was a student athlete, I was in student council. I was kind of tossed around place to place, house to house, foster homes, different parents, uncles. Like I felt like a stray dog, but I felt like a stray dog that was loved.
mm,
So what those things did building me up was it taught me how to socialize. It taught
mm,
me how to adapt. It taught me how to be able to go into a new space and be able to take over that environment by knowing that anytime I go into a room, they're going to
mm.
react based off of what I put out. So I always knew how to deal with people because
Wow.
my survival depended on it.
Mm,
So 15 years old, I felt like I wanted to be legally grown. So I went to go emancipate myself in the state of Texas. And after a few rounds, I made it through the emancipation process, was legally grown, went and
mm,
signed myself in school. I moved from Houston to Dallas.
mm.
So I took a bus, didn't know nothing, put
Wow.
myself in school. I started getting really close with the coach and his family. And I always was a student athlete. So they kind of took me in, and I had a job at Sonic Drive-In. And so working there, which was right across the street from my school, as you mentioned, trafficking, that's the first thing I say in my story.
mm.
Anytime you have students that work close proximity to their schools, people are watching. They're seeing
Wow.
them walk to school. They're seeing them go to work every day. They're
Mm,
seeing how long they stay out, if they have a ride or not, if they're catching the bus or not, where
mm,
they're going. Like, this is a real thing. So because I knew that Sonic was right across the street from my school, I
mm.
just would walk to Sonic to go work, and they was watching me.
Wow.
So, and I knew this because after a while, once I got into the game of being trafficked, then
Mm.
they mold us to be recruiters, which I never got to
Wow.
the point of recruiting because I was good at what I did, meaning that anybody that came into the trafficking space, I was kind of like, if they were between 9 and 12, 13 year olds, that's who the older cats had. So I was considered older when I turned 17. From
Wow.
15, I got put into the game. 15 to 17, I kind of was taught what to do, just in love with the trafficker, thinking that I'm doing something right. I got women around me that's doing it. It's 80 of us. So we all working together, brainwashed, young little girls having,
80 people? 80?
oh yeah, 80 plus women.
Wow.
Yeah, we had different houses that we would go to. We'd rotate. Then we'd
Mm,
have poker tournaments. We had, this is very high skill, high level trafficking. This was not, I'm gonna beat you and you're gonna make me $50 on the corner. That I
mm,
really hate when people think of it that way, because then they're brainwashed not to see what's right in plain sight. It's the person hopping out with the Aston Martin and the nice car going to the penthouse at the Trump Tower.
mm.
That's how trafficking is happening. It's not happening because of these small, it's a really big scale situation. We had a
Wow.
private doctor, private nanny, private chauffeurs. We had private shots if we got disease or had anything wrong as a woman. We had private people come in and check us out.
Mm.
Every car we was in was a top-notch car. So the reason I'm expressing that is so you know what you see when you see it.
Right.
And it was
Right.
young girls with older women. That's always a red flag.
Mm,
So that's just some advocacy and kind of awareness that I'm spreading as I'm sharing my story. But that's where it all started, was at Sonic Drive-In. They were watching me. They would come up, tell me how beautiful I was, get to know me, started to coerce me into coming into their space, and which I did. So once
mm.
you're in the space, there is no getting out. We all get a brand tattoo, which this is the brand, and it's a
Wow.
snake because his name was Snake. So
Oh
we
my God.
all got this tattoo, and it's very specific in how they created it. Same guy did all our tattoos, so they know not to mess with us if we're out and about. So they said
Wow.
it was to protect us. So right, so these things, as I go through my life, I'm in this space for 5 years. I'm 19 years old now, and long story short, they murdered one of my friends.
Oh.
And for the first time in my head, I was like, what if that was me? She was
Mm,
12 years old. Like, what if that was me?
mm.
So, long story short, I kind of started being a rebel and talking a little too much, got beat on. Now I'm getting bad treatment. So I'm out. Like, I'm ready to go.
Mm.
So it's either one or two ways out. You run away, you get found, you get killed, you come back, or you kill yourself. Stuff like that is like them in my head, those were my options. So they would set us up where we have like men come in and they would tell us that they were everybody. So
Mm.
you don't know if you came to me and I was being trafficked and you were undercover and you was like, let me help you. I'm
Mm.
gonna think you're setting me up. So
Oh
you
wow.
probably gonna get killed because
Oh.
I'm gonna tell on you.
Oh wow.
So it's psychologically messing with me. Even
Mm.
when the FBI came and they raided the property and we went to investigation, all that stuff, we talking about everything, I still thought that I was being punked. Like, I thought that they were
Mm.
testing. I don't know. You just don't know. So the
Right.
only way I knew it was real was one of the men that was undercover during the trafficking
Mm.
was somebody that was a familiar face to me. So at that point, I knew if he was in on it and they were
Mm.
helping and he had been my client, that this
Mm.
was something that was real.
Right.
So 19 years old, we got rescued by the grace of God. I was able to go to a school called God's Academy. I didn't have no
Wow.
education, but they helped me get a GED. They helped me take my ACT, SAT. I was able to go and get my undergrads from Southern University. I was able to try out for the volleyball team and the basketball team. Because I went from having a team of women that I
Mm.
worked with when I was trafficked to having a team of student athletes around me,
Right.
same feeling, different environment. So
Wow.
the second thing is everybody's searching for a community, even
Mm.
a young 15-year-old. And that's where a lot of the trafficking happens. They feel abandoned and rejected. So here's this community, just like a gang, that you can
Right.
be part of and be accepted and have a family. And this is a big portion of what's happening psychologically with the women that are in that space. I
Mm.
tell everybody when I was saved, for whatever reason, I was able to go from one environment immediately to the next environment, and I was able to get educated. With that education came financial resources, it came
Right.
financial aid, it came student loans,
Right.
here came scholarships,
Mm.
here came the community helping me. I had school security as my private security
Right.
because I was
Wow.
still scared that I had said too much, done too much, and that at any point in time they could come get me and they was gonna hurt me. So I
Wow.
had that precaution for about 3 years. They helped me get my daughter back, who I had from being trafficked when I was in that life. You know, it just was a part of the moment of the momentum. I didn't know who her father
Right.
was. So, you know, she came to school with me. I got her back from the family that adopted her from me. And
Mm.
she went to college with me. I got out of college, started doing grassroots organizing, straight community organizing, working with the Louisiana Foundation Against Sexual Assault, the Louisiana Stop Solitary Confinement Coalition,
Yeah.
NAACP, working with all of these grassroots Dress for Success worldwide. Um, there's all these groups. I just became obsessed with helping my community, coaching little league volleyball. Like I just was doing everything and I was sharing my story. And I remember I was making about $40,000, $50,000 a year, very limited resources.
Mm.
And I kept sharing my story, raising millions of dollars. Like I'm not joking, this is millions of dollars because
Right.
they're doing silent auctions and I'm speaking in front of huge audiences.
Mm.
Learning, I'm speaking in front of schools, audiences, and I'm raising money for all these not for profits. And I'm like, wait, I go home after just raising millions of dollars on stage for a big golf tournament, and there's
Mhm.
an eviction note on my door. So I called the company that I was raising money for. I'm like, hey, I got an eviction note. I just need a little time and space. I know I just raised all that money for y'all. Like, is there a way that y'all can help me pay my rent? And they were like, oh, Shametria, those funds are not allocated towards housing.
Oh.
Exactly. So in that moment, I realized that okay, if I'm gonna do something, it has to start with doing it for myself first because
Right.
I feel like I'm still getting pimped or
Mm.
trafficked by
Yeah.
organizations now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that birthed me going into real estate, going back into wholesaling and understanding how to build wealth and insurance. And I started going to these conferences that were centered around real estate and wealth building
Hmm.
versus advocacy and organizing.
Right.
So that's when, and then of course everybody that knows me knows that I became a part of Grant Cardone's Great American Speak Off. I won
Hmm.
the TV show, and then I did another show, and then it just catapulted from there. It was like, I worked and served and built the skill sets, built the momentum. Behind all of that work was the number one work
Right.
was self-help. So at any conference I could go to that was centered around self-help,
Hmm.
mindset, shifting the narrative, the Jim Quicks of the world. I started listening to Dr. Miles Monroe,
Right.
Les Brown, Eric Thompson, Lisa Nichols, Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Andrew Carnegie. Like I started listening to these revolutionary leaders and these, philosophical gurus on what
Right.
the heck am I supposed to do in this world with a story like mine.
Mm.
I was so ashamed. Yours was shyness, mine was shame.
Mm.
Same way you whatever you make it out of is your qualifications to help those that are still going through it. So
Right.
anybody listening to this podcast, if you feel shy, that's not my thing. I've never been shy. But
Mm.
this young man has, this doctor has.
Mm.
And I don't know how long it took him to get through that, but he has made it very simple for you and put it in the form of a book that saves you so much time and energy, and then gave you access to him so he can help you, coach you through that. That's the same thing. Anything that you've made it out of is your qualification that you can help others. So I decided I was homeless.
Yep.
I'm going to house women.
Mm,
I decided I was sexually abused and trafficked. I needed to heal. I'm going to
mm,
help women learn how to heal because I've already made it out of that. And it's a constant journey. And when it comes to serving,
mm.
I was a little, stressed because I'm doing all this stuff and I'm serving and I'm serving and I'm serving, but my money is coming
Yeah, it,
in.
it wasn't right. Yeah, yeah,
And that was a method I learned in business, which was you make money in your for profit, you donate it to your not for profit, but see, that equals zero at the end of the year. That's
yeah,
actually what qualifies it to be a not for profit, is a
yeah,
zero margin at the end of the year, meaning
yes,
whatever you put in, you put out.
yep.
So I had to come up with a new strategy. And I think that now in my life, where I'm at, is just I'm building off of that. I have a beautiful brand. I have a
Mm.
beautiful family. I have two beautiful kids, Avriana and Ashad. My life
Wow,
revolves around them. I'm actually about to get them back for the first time in a year and a half.
wow,
I've been
wow,
traveling.
yeah,
I was able to get my student loans paid for because I
wow.
worked at not for profits. And if you
Hmm.
do for 10 years plus, you submit that information to the IRS and they'll be able to waive those student loans that you had.
Wow.
And then I think I might even be pursuing a little, further education coming up here.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Look, your story is amazing. Now,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where you are listening to us from. I don't know which part of the world you are right now, but here is one thing I want to assure you, that even if this story does not resonate with you, there is somebody you know who this story, this message would impact their lives positively. So please like and share it. Share this broadcast now just to help that one person. Now, Shametria, look, if if there was a way that life experience is written on someone's forehead, probably I would have known that you've been through such experiences in your life. But you just look fine. You look okay, like like nothing happened. Nothing has happened. Like that girl who had everything figured out. So can you please tell us, those people listening, how
Yes.
can they prevent their children, the young ones around them, how can they prevent such a thing from happening to their loved ones or to their neighbors, to the people they know?
Yeah. So here's the tricky thing. I think there's two things you mentioned that I want to piggyback off on, and I'll answer that question in the second portion of it. The first one was you said, "You look so good, girl. It looked like you ain't been through anything you've been through."
Yes.
I want to share with people how they can have that as well. I want to ask them a question first off, because it's an energy that I possess.
Right.
Everything that you've been through, I could do this with you. Out
Hmm.
of everything that you've been through, and you're here on this call right now,
Mm.
does that mean that your survival rate is 100%? You're physically here talking to me with a PhD, with a podcast, with a book. You own a school, for God's sake. And no one knows all your story of what you made it out of. But
That's
I
true.
know you 100% survivor
Oh, yes.
because you're 100% here.
Yes.
And you have all of your common sense. You have all of the things that God has gifted you with to be able to produce and to procreate and to manifest. So you, my brother, are 100% a survivor. So
Mm.
you know those are the odds that are for you and
Oh,
not
yes.
against you.
Yes.
Until the day you leave this earth, you're 100% survivor. Hello there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I like to share with people to start there, baby girl, baby boy, make a choice.
Oh,
The
yes.
choice that you make when you wake up, the reason I look so vibrant and I'm so happy and I have this energy is because I know in order to possess something, I have to possess it. And I want to be possessed with abundance. I want to be possessed with happiness. I want to be possessed with love. So I'm going to have that in me so I can attract it on the
mm,
outside of me.
mm.
You attract from within, not without. So
Yes.
that I'm conscious of that. So no matter what, I always say, find the good in it.
Mm.
Okay, find the good in it. People that try to talk negativity to me, I immediately reflect and redirect.
Right
So
away.
reflect means no. Look, so what you're doing right now is you being super negative. Okay, that's a reflection so they can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And to redirect is to share it with them in a different perspective because what they see is what they believe. So if I can get people on this call to truly see their problems,
Mm.
to see them as something that is a challenge for them to solve and know
Right.
that they're not solving it by themselves and that in order to solve it, you got to fail a lot.
Mm.
It's like any sports. It's like we get it in sports, but not in real life. In
Right.
sports, you dribble a basketball for the first time and you ain't never dribbled a basketball, you're going to mess up. You're not
Yes.
going to dribble one time and be like, dang, I just can't dribble. Some people might,
Mm.
but that was never my character. I'm going to
Mm.
keep trying and keep trying. And every day I'm going to get a little bit better and a little bit better. In life,
Mm.
if you can hear the sound of my voice and you can do a breath right now, you
Mm.
have something to be grateful for. The spirit of gratitude is my attitude and it's a multiplier. It
Wow.
multiplies everything that I have. So I am happy. I'm so grateful to be here, to be
Mm.
free, to have my body, and I can make a choice to say yes or no. It's
Right.
still very difficult. I
Mm.
do not put myself in positions with men where I can be vulnerable because I will say yes.
Yeah.
I still have not learned how to say no.
Mm.
So I just don't put myself in those positions. I'm
Mm.
not beating myself up because I was so beat down and conditioned to think that I can never tell a man no, that I'm wrong, something's wrong with me. No, something was wrong with my monster that created this.
Mm.
But I'm dealing with it. And I got God on my side, and He's going to help me through that every day. That is a
Amen.
conscious choice. That means the problem is still there, but I got something else fighting that demon.
Mm.
I fight it with action.
Yeah.
I fight it with love. I fight it with the covenant of God, using my tongue as a sword. I said
Mm.
sometimes I'm like, enemy, not today. You're not gonna do this with me today. I'm
Yep.
not for this today.
Yep.
So the first thing for your family, for your friends, for the people watching this podcast, you can make a choice. Choose you. Choose
Mm.
good. Choose love. Choose whatever you have that was bad. Find something good about it. I promise you, if you made it out, there's something good. Sometimes it's just that I made it out. That's the good. Okay. And hold that dearly and don't you let it go because
Mm.
all the bad energy grows where it flows. You keep
Wow.
flowing that energy to that thought, it will manifest into sickness, it will
Wow.
manifest into disease. And this is the stuff that nobody's talking about because they're not aware. My job is to bring consciousness and awareness. My mind was pimped,
Mm.
my body was used. Those two things together have left 99% of the women that have been with me drug addicted, suicidal, in a mental institution. That's their fate. I know them. I know most of them.
Mm.
And that's where they are. So why did God choose me? That leads me to the second thing that you said. You said when people are in a space that they want to save their protective or protect their sisters and cousins and nieces and aunties and mothers and boys, that boys were trafficked, to protect their young ones from
Mm.
this sinister, organization that is the world's biggest organization in crime. It
Wow.
is traffickers, rather it's organ trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, labor trafficking. It's a lot of trafficking going on.
Wow.
And I don't have to be the spokesperson for the survivors. No, I'm just a girl that made it out.
Mm.
And I'm a hell of a weapon for the women that are still in there. Because if they could just hear my
I
voice,
love that. I love that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss, but if they can just hear my voice, if they could see my success, you think my success for me? Nah, because I'm a country girl that ain't had nothing growing up anyways. I don't care about that. Not a bag, a purse, a nail. I was naturally beautiful. I don't need no makeup on my face. I'm natural. I don't need no weave. This my hair. I don't need no nails. These my nails. I don't need no lashes. This me. God has blessed me with a certain level
Amen.
of
Amen.
of 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 love for the authenticity that comes from just being me. And when I share that with the world, It's going to help them feel more love about being their authentic self because they have somebody to look up to that's not the social norm of what a Black and Mexican beautiful woman, a light skinned, red bone, whatever you want to call it, thick woman, video vixen. Nah, that's cool. Y'all can have that. There needs to be a representation of a survivor that took her life from been there, done that, made money. God took it right back. I'm choosing the man instead of a man. I'm choosing God
Wow.
over any man in this world.
Amen.
So if they
Amen.
want to help women like myself, all I ask them to do is if you see something, say something. For your daughters, please put them on Fab 5. That is, if they are ever in an emergency, they can open the app and click a button. It will send an alert to every person. It's already prearranged. I have these keychains that have sensors on them, that have trackers on them. Put your
Wow.
baby's keychain on a tracker because most of the times they'll take their phone but never think about their keys. So they'll
Wow.
probably keep their keys with them unless they're trying to steal their car. But most of the times, the first thing they take is their phone. They're not thinking about their keys. There's rings that I have that implant a certain tracker into it, and it'll be like a ring. They're not going to take the ring off their finger. So you gotta be clever and think about it. Another thing is when you see your young daughter hanging with an older girl, that's an immediate red flag.
Wow.
Immediately. Another thing is Google. You can go on Google and you can put your children underneath family plans where you can see and access all of their Google intake and outtake. They are catching your babies on TikTok, Instagram, social media, offering them money, offering them time, offering them promises. And then when they get them, they are snatched up and they are gone.
Wow.
This is not a joke. This is real talk. To my foster parents, to the
Wow.
attorneys that broker these foster home deals, traffickers have great lawyers. They have babies. They have women that are addicted to drugs having babies just to sell them. For the duration of the time that they're in the trafficking situation or that they're pregnant, they're taken care of just so they can get the baby. Do you know that baby over a lifetime will produce $10+ million for one child can produce $10 million for a trafficker? You think he's not
Wow.
going to protect that baby? You think
Wow.
he's not going to make sure that that girl is good?
Wow.
And these women that look like me, I'm considered a high ticket. Because when I was younger, beautiful, light skin, nice hair, very soft, very submissive. When I
Wow.
got pregnant, they triple worked me. It went from one man a day. It was like 3 men a day because they
Gee.
had a fetish. This is real stuff that I really want people to know. This wasn't no undercover thing. This is right in front of your face. You just don't
Wow.
know it. And the women ain't gonna talk. So for me, as a rebel, as somebody who is standing up against this injustice, it has to start with their mindset because that's where it started in the first place. Ain't no woman in her right mind about to go and be in this space, I promise you. I was a little girl that was suffering with abandonment, rejection, that was over medicated because my foster family got more checks if I was considered ADHD, dyslexic, retarded, put into these fake classes just so I can get more money. And then ultimately, I was beautiful inside and out and pure. So a lot of people touched me and did things to me. So I never had value in
No.
myself or my body. So I'm learning these things now, that I am somebody, that I do matter, that shame is not, a part of my story because I made it out. Now it's just like Harriet Tubman. The best part of her movie, that was one of my favorite movies at the end when she talked to all of the guys that were free and said, y'all stand here and talk on your high horse as if you have done something. But I can never forget what I went through. And until they're all free, I can never stop going back. So that right there gave me the energy I needed to keep going forward when it comes to housing women, helping them, working with the FBI, working with the MBI, working with, different agencies and resources and building out these infrastructures of affordable houses that we can hide them and, navigate them through different states and angel flights. And I mean, it's a whole system, but I'm okay to do it because I made it out.
Wow. You made it out.
I made it
And
out.
that's the most important part
Yes.
right now. You
Yes.
made it out. You
Yes.
found your voice. And
Yes.
right now, you are using your voice
Mhm.
to be the voice of the voiceless.
Correct.
You are using your voice to be light in darkness.
Yes.
You are using your voice to give hope to the hopeless.
Yes.
Is God not good? God is awesome.
He's very good.
So everything you went through in life was
Hmm.
for a reason.
Hmm.
And I thank God that you did not reject the assignment on your life. Because some people would have come out of it and kept shut.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing for me, and this is a struggle even right now in my own branding and marketing, is with all the beauty and the grace and the goodness and the intelligence and the wisdom and the inquisitive and the creativity and the gifts and the talents, the thing that God asked me to use was the story and the pain
Mm.
and the testimony. And I'm still asking him, like, okay, when can I shift? Like, when can I show people how amazing I am? And he was like, just hold on. Most people want to give away what they got. The best thing, as soon as you get good news, you want to give it away. But
Mm.
God said He's protecting me and my story and my gifts for the optimum for the what's the word for it? Like when it's like right there, like the best time for the
Yes.
for the for the for the right time.
Hmm.
And I think that a lot of us right now believe that the time is now. There's something called the law of familiarity.
Oh, yes.
Anytime we get too familiarized with anything, we devalue it.
Yeah.
That is a law, a
Mm.
human law,
Mm.
based on science and based on numbers and based on the way that people react to things, whether it's new or old. That's why we
Right.
have a decade of trends and
Mm.
seasons, and everything changes. So I believe that because we've gotten an overflex of thoughtness,
Mm.
hot girl summer, women rappers, no offense to the women rappers, but I just, again, this is what's put at the forefront, and this is all that we see in the Black community as our leaders and our,
Mm.
philanthropists and the people that are really, our entertainers cannot be the lead of the country. Their
Mm.
job is to entertain,
Mm.
but we've put them in those positions of influence.
Right.
And he or she who holds influence holds the power, because the power is in the people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for myself, I truly believe that I have to become an influencer or
Hmm.
an entertainer in order to entertain them, to enter inside and to hold.
Mm.
So to enter their spaces through medias or TV, movies. I have movies on Tubi's that I've executive produced. I have been on the biggest stage in the world for entrepreneurs at Growth Conference. I'm
Right.
speaking at Essence this year. I got to fly out tomorrow. Like,
Mm.
I have all of these things that I'm a part of that are not on the mainstream
Right.
yet,
Right.
yet, because
Right.
there's a shift happening and people are going to value this. It's just maybe on the way.
Mm.
And I can feel that. I've conditioned my mind for over a decade. You can ask me any topic. You can ask me. You could put a beat on. I'll freestyle it. That's how cold I am. When I tell you, God has given me the gift of gab, the gift of communication, and the ability to articulate in a way that possesses the mind of those that I need to get something across to. For the
Mm.
moment, that is the gift. And I don't
Amen.
take that gift lightly. I'm not here to use it to sell. I'm not here to use it to trick no niggas, men. That's
Mm.
old school. That's the stuff that I
Amen.
had to do for
Amen.
somebody else.
Amen. Amen.
Now it's time to
Amen.
use it for the kingdom. And it ain't just,
For the
I'm not just
kingdom.
saying it to be cute. Nah, it's that time. It's for
I
real.
love that. Look, look, look. I am
Yes.
impressed at what you're doing right now,
Thank you.
even though you've been through a lot, but God has a reason for everything. And you said something that everything happens for a reason. And I believe in that. I believe in that. You have a purpose. You're already living a life of purpose. And
Hmm.
thank you for that. Keep doing what you do.
I will.
So let's talk about your housing for
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Could you please shed some more light on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you
So
have going on right now regarding that?
Yeah, so I have an organization. There's two developments that I have going on. One is called Homes for Angels. That's
Mhm.
located in South Haven, Mississippi, and the southern region of the United States, the Alabamas, the South Havens, Louisianas, Texas, Dallas. I think there's one more that we're looking to build in Tennessee. These are houses that we have that are safe houses for women who have been sexually trafficked. And so the qualifications are we only do referral based from within the community. So we
Okay.
utilize other organizations in that community in order to be able to use us as a resource. We are
Mm,
considered landlords
mm,
that are offering independent living to these women at a
mm.
discounted rate that we're utilizing our own funding to pay for the first 3 months. And then after that, they have a scale of how they pay, and we help them get a job and do different things like that. They can
Wow.
also requalify after 3 months for a hardship, which is another
Mm.
3 months.
Yeah.
Um, if they need to get from state to state, we use something called angel flights. And
Hmm.
we're my job is to build an underground railroad that connects women that have been trafficked to
Wow.
resources, housing. Yes, and so that's step one. So me and another group organization created step five.
Mm.
So there's stage 1 through 4 in the model for human trafficking, domestic violence. There's always stage 1 through 4. For
Right.
me, I feel like I'm in stage 5 because what
Mhm.
happens after this, the woman who is rescued has went through every resource, went to college,
Mm.
redeveloped themselves, but they still have to learn how to deal in the community
Right.
coming from their stipulations. What
Mm.
happens when the survivor wants to be successful? Wealthy, an investor.
Mm.
Hey, so we decided to create Stage Five, and Stage Five is a cooperative program that allows them to go into different fields using real estate as the tool and no
Right.
money down and financing credit, starting their business. So I
Mhm.
believe that it's not good enough for us to just help them live and survive, but I want them
Mhm.
to thrive. And
Mm.
so they need more than just resources. They need equity. They need
Wow.
property. They need credit cards. They
Mm.
need lines of credit. They need
Yeah.
trust. They need life insurance. They need
Yep.
so it's like these are surface level things that most organizations are trying to do. Let's get them food stamps. Let's get them.
Mhm.
They don't. That's not going to help. I've
It
been there,
can't
done
help.
that.
Right? That
So
will
it's
not
like
help them.
no, that's not what they need. Like let's give them the same opportunity as what I got,
Right.
which was like anybody else. Okay, they didn't
Right.
look at me as a victim. They
Mm.
would go to college, go get this education, go do your
Right.
thing, girl. You
Right.
got this. And I was able to take that and run with it. So
Mm.
that's what we're doing in stage 5. And then after stage 5, first is Homes for Angels. That's the transitional independent living housing.
Mhm.
The second thing is stage 5, which is the resources, the knowledge, the credit repair, the trust, the life insurance, getting them set up for success. And the third thing is called Evolve Green Solutions. So I'm a part of a syndication deal where we have worked together in order to build out properties globally. We're certified to build anywhere in the globe.
Mhm.
And we partner with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, HUD,
Okay.
AGS. We've all partnered together. The mayor of Tuskegee, Kenya, the Philippines. We're building in Shreveport. We're building at Tuskegee. We're building with the AU Center in Georgia. So like we're building all these projects. We have all this stuff going on, and the beauty of it is that every single community. We're only building communities. These are eco-friendly, net zero communities and homes.
Wow.
Eco-friendly because they're good for the environment. We're taking dump from the land waste,
Mhm.
from the waste, and we condense it down into a foam that becomes insulation for the houses. We take magnesium oxide that we mine from China, that we own the mine in China. We
Right.
bring it here to the USA. We distribute it throughout factories, and we use AI, which is these automated bots, along with human integration to
Mm.
work on building out the panels. And we can ship houses out on 18 wheelers all day because it's just Lego blocks and
Wow.
panels that shift into you build them up like Lego box. We can build up to
Wow.
6 stories. So the reason I'm so interested in that project, not only is it offering affordable housing, not only is it offering net zero, eco-friendly, environment friendly, um, fire resistant, rodent resistant, like nothing's coming in that house. Um,
Mhm.
we also offer them a family trust to put the house in as
Okay.
being a tenant.
Mm.
There is no landlords. These aren't rent to own. I mean, these aren't rent houses. These are rent to own.
Okay.
And we do have private finances, mortgagers, hard money lenders. If you're going to be a part of our program and you qualify, we will get you into the house as an owner.
Ah,
Because of the
okay.
way that we build these houses and the amount of money, how small of an amount it takes to build them out,
Mm-hmm.
they instantly have equity in the property as soon as they get it. So if
Mm.
we're building these properties, we're selling them for about $250,000 per condo, per apartment, per house, per whatever. And then the places we're building them in, that cap rate is
Right.
about 400 to 500,000. So if you have a $500,000 property, we sold it to them for 300,000, but the market says it's worth 500. That's a
Right.
$200,000 gap that we called equity.
Mm.
We
Mm.
call it
Mm.
sweat equity. So that equity is going to be gifted to these individuals. And we're also giving away a house. So we're doing a raffle. So
Okay.
it's just, this is revolutionary. For me, the reason I love it is because I fought to be a part of the development of these communities and to be able to make sure that within those communities, they had adequate housing and resources for survivors of
Mm.
trafficking. Because the more we build communities, these survivors will, after they go through the housing with the group, then they go
Right.
through stage 5. Now they can go into owning their own home. And your girl is a director of PR marketing as well as a project
Wow.
manager into this. So, I know it's probably like I get real cuckoo sciencey about this, but just know, y'all, I didn't know I was going to be doing any of this.
Mm.
It came because I showed up in rooms. I went to
In rooms.
conferences.
I like that. I was going to ask you now,
Yep.
did you ever, you know, and did you ever envision these for yourself? Like when you were,
Never. What I did envision, and I'll
mm,
tell y'all this nugget.
mm,
I've done a vision board since I was 19. When I
okay,
was rescued, I did a lot of mind psychology stuff to be able to pull myself out of what I was in. So
right,
I learned how to visualize and I
mm,
learned how to make vision boards. So
okay,
every year since 2019, I have made a vision board and I've always gotten everything on that vision board. It has never failed me. I believe in it 100 to a million percent. It is not cuckoo, kiki, cocoa for cocoa puffs. This is real deal manifestation at the highest level. And I
mm,
put God before anything when it comes to that. I always write child of God on the top of my vision board. And then
mm,
I put steps from the top to the bottom. I call it reverse engineering. And I write down the biggest goal I have and I work it back per year.
mm,
I think people they get so anxious living in the future and then they get so sad living in the past. But when
right,
you're in the present, your presence is the present. There will never be another moment for me and you to make this moment because this time is past. So now it's a
mm,
memory, right? So I know that whatever people want to do, it's going to start with them seeing it. God's gift to let you see it is the proof in the pudding. That means that it's already done. When you
it's
see it
already
in
done.
the vision, write the
Mm,
vision, make it plain. God
and
says the last shall be the first and the first shall be the last. I've been
amen.
in last place my whole life. I think it's time for me to be the first.
You are the first. You are the first. You are already doing what needs to be done, and you are the first. So we
Yeah.
really do appreciate you for coming out today. And typically, we don't get to bring people like yourself on this platform all the time because this is a unique experience.
Yeah.
This is a unique thing that has happened to you.
Yeah.
And we really do appreciate it because right now, with this story, a lot of people would be at alert. A lot of people would now know information that they didn't know about
Yes.
previously. So, ladies and gentlemen, everything that has a beginning always has an end. We're about coming to an end right now, but I
Yeah.
want to ask you one last question, Shametria, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Um, do you have a program, or how can people reach out to you? People who are currently experiencing what you've experienced in the past, or
Yeah.
people who know someone or people who they think are going through um, what you've been through in your past, how can they reach out to you? Are you
Yeah,
on
so
social media?
everything, and this is a nugget for all of my marketing people, anybody out there who is looking to start something, everything is going to be under my name. My name
Okay.
is very important to me. I take it seriously, but everything I do goes under that name because people will always be able to find me with my name.
Mm.
Businesses will change, books will change, events will change, but your name will always stay the same in
Yes.
90% of the chances.
Yes.
So, Shametria Gonzales, I'm sure he can put the links there. I have a
Yes.
website that kind of breaks down all of my information, talks about my packages of, me speaking and things like that. As far as the not for profit goes, you can donate, you can go there, you can check us out, see the work we're doing. It is a not for profit that's based around the protection of survivors. So it's
Yes.
very little social proof. You're not going to see a lot on there. But once you get into the space, you've done the MOUs, NDAs, you have went through the background screening, you've went through our train the trainer model, then you maybe get access to helping out with these survivors because this is not a typical work, and
Right.
it can be dangerous. So
Right. Right.
I take that very seriously. But my story can be found on YouTube. If you type my name in, my website is Shametria Gonzales at ShametriaGonzales.com for my
Hmm.
personal. And then for the business, it's Homes for Angels. And for the real estate, it's aevolvegreensolutions.com. And I'm sure he can link all that. I'll make sure he gets those links. But most importantly,
Yes.
even before all of those things, if you guys are interested, or if you have an event, or you have a podcast, or you have something like that you want me to be a part of, that's just a DM. You can DM me. You can reach out via email. All my information's on social medias. I'm very easy to get in touch with. Now, depending upon the request, will be how much you'll get a response back. I did
Right.
hire a personal assistant, so I'm excited about that. So
Yes.
I'll be able to at least get back to you. But so reach out regardless. It's just that I cannot say yes to every, inquiry at this time based on the way that my life is growing. But I am here for you if you need me. And I think you mentioned if they were going through what I'd been through,
Right.
there's always going to be the ability to call the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Remember, I do go through other not for profits to get the referrals. It keeps the confidentiality down. It also helps me to not have to do an intake or be reliable for their mental, physical state of being at the time because they've
Right.
already been vetted before they come
Right.
to us. We are
Right.
independent assisted living.
Mm.
So it's a different framework, but it is very conducive to what they need. And I know what they need because I needed it. So,
Right. Right.
um, but yeah, just my name. I'll put links down there. And I'm always looking to collaborate. So if you're having a gala, a fundraiser, whatever it may be, I'm always looking to come and help to support you to make sure that you're successful in that. I and what they call the queen of fundraising. Um, I've been doing it for years, but now I'm very selective with who I do it with and for,
Mm.
but I'm very good at what I do. And so if you do need some money, you do need some capital, you do need someone to help you get over that threshold. I know what it's like to have a not-for-profit from the zero to millions, regardless. It's
Mm.
the same level of difficulty
Right.
because it is a not-for-profit. So you're not making money for
Right.
profit. You're
Right.
making it for the people. So
Hmm. Thank you so much for sharing. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time where we need to come to an end, where we need to wrap it up. You will find her contact information right there.
yeah.
Just follow her on social media: Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I know she's not too active
I know.
on Twitter and LinkedIn, but Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much, Shametria. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. And typically, one last thing before we go, I
Yeah.
would just want you to use 1 minute to inspire that young girl, that lady who is going through challenging times, and they don't see themselves ever getting out of that challenging situation. just words of encouragement to help them understand
Yeah.
that they can actually turn their pain into purpose for just 1 minute, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. To any young girl out there that is struggling right now, I am here to tell you that the only way out is the way through. There are no shortcuts, there is no stopping. You gotta go through. But when you break through and you get to that finish line, just know it's also gonna be your start line. Life is a marathon. It is based on projects. It's based on people. It's based on positions. It's based on seasons. Don't let your season right now get you confused with who God truly has you to be, because your season is just a moment of time. I want you to enjoy the good, the bad, the ugly, and take it all in with gratitude, because no matter what, everything is working for you. The universe is working for you, never against you. And the more you speak it into your life, I want y'all to be conscious and aware of what you say, because energy grows where it flows. Whatever you say out your mouth will manifest in the physical. I promise you that. If I don't tell you nothing else, take it from me. Your words matter. They are important. I need you to speak life over yourself. And if I'm talking to the little girl in me, I would tell you this last thing: be a child while you can be a child. Be a
Mm.
teenager while you could be a teenager. Be a young adult while you're a young adult. Be a young lady when you become a young lady. Be a woman when you become a woman. Be an elder when you become an elder. Be an older woman when you become a seasoned woman. And let life transpire in seasons and cycles. So our God gave women cycles so he can remind us that it's all a cycle and it has to flow. So hopefully I did okay.
Oh, yes, wonderfully well. Thank you so, so much for that.
You're welcome.
There's somebody out there right now who you have impacted. I don't know which part of the world they're listening to us from right now, but yes, you have done the work.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. And I hope when next I invite you to come share your story, you would be willing to come.
I'm all for it, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
God bless you. To everybody listening right now, remember, like and share this broadcast because you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear this message. I don't know where you're listening to us from, neither do I know what you know about yourself. But here is one thing that I, John, know about you who's listening right now. I know you have greatness within you. I know you have everything within you to take your life to the level you always want for yourself. And remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. God bless you. Go turn your pain into purpose, and God got your back. Bye for now, everybody. God bless you all. Bye.